lot of situations on the farm when you ask for one of us, you might get both of us,
Nice.
like in this one. We've met a lot of you. For those of you who haven't met us, I'm Max and this is Kerry, and we are the new farmers here at Brookfield Farm. And we're so thrilled to be a part of the farm as a whole, but also particularly this capital campaign. You know, a lot of people come to the farm to pick up their vegetables, and they see these fields where you pick. These fields represent around 3.5 acres. As Dan had mentioned earlier, we till about 40 every year. So this is less than like 10% of the total farm. And a lot of people know that, and then, you know, a lot of people don't. They kind of like think of this as the farm. But it takes a lot of potatoes to feed over 500 families, especially with the winter share going all the way until March. It's just a ton of space. We grow as much winter squash that encompasses this entire field right here. So the farm has a sort of like vastness to it that a lot of people don't always see. And of all of the resources that we have available, these tremendous relationships that Dan has built, the wonderful people that work on our weeder crew, our wonderful apprentices, the fantastic machines that do a lot of the work for us that I love so much. The land is by far our most precious resource. And as everybody knows, once farmland is turned into anything but farmland, it's gone forever and you can't get it back. I have a good friend who farms in the valley who at one point said, there's nothing better than farming in the Pioneer Valley, but the problem with it is there isn't any land available, and if there is any land available, you can't afford it anyway. But if you can find a way to make it work, there is nowhere better to have a farm than in this place. And I think it's really true, and I think the more that we can do at Brookfield Farm to ensure our future, the better for it, for our community and for everybody going forward. We're also particularly excited about this project because it will allow us to really invest in the infrastructure at some of this land, putting up more tunnels, putting in irrigation everywhere, just so the farm can be more adaptable and more resilient in this ever-changing climate that we're working in. It's going to be 115 degrees like this weekend in the Pacific Northwest. It's just unheard of. We have no idea what's happening next, but being able to, you know, turn the sprinklers on when we need to, or grow some crops under cover if we could, I think would just make all the difference in the world. So again, we wanted to thank the board and thank Dan for putting in the work in and building these relationships, and Nikki as well for making all of this possible.
So I first arrived at Brookfield Farm 15 years ago. I was a career change apprentice. I was determined to start my own farm. And during those 15 years, I've met and worked with so many young people who have also gone on to start their own farms and served in other roles in the agricultural world. I owe so much of what I know to Brookfield Farm and to the vast networks of farmers and agricultural connections I've made here. Max and I even met through those connections, and we were married in the last year. Brookfield Farm is a special place, and one of those things that makes it so special is that it's a multi-generational project. We are training generations of farmers. Many former apprentices have gone on to start their own farms and then trained young people who have also gone on to start and manage farms. During my time here, one of my favorite parts of the farm were the children who visited, both shareholders and school groups. Now these children have grown. Some who I babysat are now on the weeder crew. One weeder that I knew as an apprentice is now a production manager at another organic farm in the valley. Maybe your children grew up on this farm, and maybe now they are bringing your grandchildren to this farm. One of the reasons we're really excited to be back at Brookfield is that we also, as you probably heard, have a 5-year-old son we're very excited to watch him grow up on this farm. And maybe one day, his children will also visit this farm. There's really not very much certainty in farming, but the one thing I'm sure of is that this campaign will help ensure Brookfield will be here well into the future for them and then for other generations to come.